40 billion Oreo cookies produced every single year. That is more than 5 for every person alive on Earth, made continuously in factories across multiple continents, and almost nobody has ever seen what actually happens inside to produce that perfectly embossed, perfectly filled cookie with the same snap and the same taste every single time. This is the complete factory journey from raw ingredients to sealed package, and the precision involved will change the way you look at this cookie. It begins with ingredients arriving at the facility in quantities that are difficult to visualize. The primary Oreo manufacturing facility in the United States operates on South Kedzie Avenue in Chicago, one of the largest cookie factories in the world. Wheat flour arrives in bulk tanker trucks and is transferred pneumatically into large silo storage towers inside the facility. Cocoa powder, the ingredient that gives the Oreo wafer its deep, near black color, arrives in similar bulk quantities from suppliers sourcing from West African and South American cocoa growing regions. Sugar, vegetable shortening, high fructose corn syrup, leavening agents, salt, and vanilla flavoring round out the core ingredient list, each stored in dedicated systems at controlled conditions appropriate to the material. The shortening is kept at a temperature that maintains it in a semi-solid state. The dry powders are stored in humidity-controlled environments to prevent clumping. None of this happens casually at the volume this facility processes. Any ingredient that behaves inconsistently at the start of the process creates compounding problems across millions of finished cookies downstream. Before any ingredient moves toward a mixer, it passes through incoming quality control. Flour samples are tested for protein content, which directly affects gluten development and finished cookie texture. Cocoa samples are assessed for fat content and color value, because variation in cocoa quality produces visible color differences in finished wafers, a defect immediately visible to any consumer. Shortening is checked for consistency and purity. Ingredients that meet specification are released into the production system. Those that fall short are quarantined and returned. This receiving gate is the first and most upstream quality intervention in the entire process, and it is the one that prevents the widest range of downstream problems. Approved ingredients are called forward into the mixing operation as each batch cycle begins, conveyed or pumped in precisely measured quantities from their storage systems to the industrial mixers. Mixing begins with the fat phase. Vegetable shortening and sugar are loaded into the mixer first and run together at high speed in a creaming process that incorporates air into the fat-sugar combination. The mechanical action of the mixer works the mixture into a pale, light, fluffy mass, and this aeration step is directly responsible for the internal texture of the finished cookie. The air bubbles incorporated during creaming expand under oven heat during baking, producing the slightly open, porous internal structure that gives the Oreo wafer its characteristic body. The duration and speed of creaming are controlled precisely because the amount of air incorporated affects cookie thickness, spread, and the final texture. Over-cream and the cookie spreads too much in the oven. Under-cream and the texture becomes too dense. Once the fat-sugar blend is properly aerated, the liquid ingredients are added water, high fructose corn syrup, and vanilla flavoring, and blended until fully incorporated into the fat phase. Then the dry ingredients come in as a pre-weighed blend: wheat flour, Dutch processed cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. The mixer speed drops at this point deliberately. After flour is added, continued high-speed mixing develops gluten, the protein network that makes bread chewy and elastic, and in a cookie, excessive gluten development produces a product that is tough and does not snap cleanly. The mixer runs just long enough at reduced speed to bring all the ingredients into a uniform, homogeneous dough without overworking the flour. The result is a stiff, dark, dense dough, deeply brown from the alkalized cocoa, slightly glossy from the fat content, and firm enough to hold fine surface detail under mechanical pressure. This dough is the Oreo wafer in its unformed state, and every decision in the mixing process was made to produce a specific outcome in the oven 20 minutes from now. The mixed dough transfers from the mixer to the hopper of the rotary molding machine, the piece of equipment that shapes every Oreo cookie and imprints the design that has appeared on the surface of this cookie since. Etienne Jobai Wusherar. The rotary molder is built around a steel die roll, a large cylinder with the Oreo surface pattern engraved into it as a repeating negative array across its entire surface. Every element of that pattern, the geometric floral border, the interlocking design, the Oreo name embossed at the center, is machined into the die roll at precise depth and geometry. The dough is fed from the hopper into the nip point between the rotating die roll and a rubber pressure roll turning beneath it. Pressure between the two rolls forces dough into every engraved cavity on the die roll surface, filling the design details completely. A doctor blade, a straight stainless steel edge positioned against the die roll surface, just past the nip point, scrapes away any dough sitting above the cavity level, leaving only the material packed into the engraving. As the die roll continues rotating and the filled cavities reach the bottom of the roll's arc, a conveyor belt running beneath receives each shaped dough piece as it releases from the cavity. The flexibility of the belt material and the geometry of the release angle eject each cookie cleanly, embossed face down on the belt, ready for the oven. The shaped dough pieces transfer directly onto the oven band, the continuous steel conveyor belt that carries them through the length of the baking tunnel without interruption. The tunnel oven used for Oreo production is a long, enclosed structure. Commercial tunnel ovens for this type of cookie production can run well over 200 feet in length. The oven band travels through it at a controlled speed, and the oven interior is divided into independently controlled temperature zones that create a deliberate baking profile along the length of the tunnel. In the early zones, surface moisture evaporates from the dough and the leavening agents activate. Baking soda reacts with slightly acidic components in the formula and releases carbon dioxide, which expands the internal structure of the cookie as it heats. In the middle zones, the starch in the flour gelatinizes and sets the cookie's structure, while Maillard browning develops flavor compounds across the surface. In the final zones, remaining moisture is driven off to bring the cookie down to its target moisture content, a level low enough that the finished wafer has the hard, clean snap that defines the Oreo eating experience. A wafer with even slightly elevated moisture becomes soft, loses its structural integrity, and fails to sandwich cleanly with the creme. The dark color of the Oreo wafer deserves a specific mention here because it is the result of two compounding processes rather than just one. The cocoa used in the Oreo formula is Dutch processed, treated with an alkaline solution before drying, which raises its pH and significantly darkens its color compared to natural cocoa, while simultaneously reducing its acidity and producing a mellower, less sharp flavor. The already dark dough then undergoes Maillard browning during baking, deepening the color further toward the near black shade that is one of the cookie's most recognizable visual characteristics. The oven profile is calibrated to develop the correct final color consistent batch to batch, line to line, because color is one of the first things a consumer registers when they open a package, and visible color inconsistency reads immediately as a quality problem. Cookies exiting the oven are still very hot. Surface temperatures can reach several hundred degrees Fahrenheit at the point of oven exit, and they move immediately onto a cooling conveyor that begins bringing their temperature down toward ambient. The cooling conveyor carries cookies in a long looping path, often routed through a multi-tier cooling tower structure inside the facility, while air circulates around them continuously. The target exit temperature from the cooling section is typically around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, cool enough that the creme filling applied in the next step will not melt on contact with the cookie surface and will maintain its consistency under the mechanical pressure of the sandwiching process. Rushing this stage is not possible. A cookie that enters the sandwich machine too warm creates product defects that cannot be corrected downstream. While the wafers are baking and cooling, the creme filling is being produced in a parallel preparation process that feeds the sandwich machine continuously. Oreo creme is not a dairy product. It is a fat-based confectionery filling made from two primary ingredients, powdered sugar and vegetable shortening. These are combined in high-speed planetary mixers where intense mechanical whipping incorporates a significant volume of air into the fat sugar blend. The aeration is what produces the creme's white color, the shortening base is naturally pale, and the whipping process increases its lightness considerably, and also what gives it the light, smooth texture that contrasts with the firm, dense wafer. Vanilla flavoring is added during mixing to produce the characteristic taste. The finished creme is white, aerated, smooth, and stable at controlled temperature, and it is pumped continuously from the mixing system to the creme depositing head on the sandwich machine, held at a temperature that keeps it fluid enough for precise depositing without breaking down the aerated structure. The sandwich machine receives the stream of cooled wafers and organizes them into parallel lanes, multiple rows of cookies moving forward simultaneously at consistent spacing. The machine architecture splits each lane into a bottom wafer path and a top wafer path. Bottom wafers travel on a lower conveyor beneath the creme depositing head, which cycles continuously at a speed matched to the conveyor, depositing a precisely measured disc of creme onto the center of each passing bottom wafer. The volume of creme deposited per cookie is controlled by the depositor's metering system. This is the variable that distinguishes an original Oreo from a double stuff or mega stuff, each requiring its own depositing calibration. The deposit lands centered on the wafer and holds its disc shape due to the creme's consistency at the controlled operating temperature. Immediately after deposition, the top wafer arrives from its parallel conveyor path and is pressed down onto the creme by a mechanical closing mechanism. The pressure applied by this closing step determines how far the creme spreads toward the wafer edges calibrated so the filling reaches close to but not beyond the cookie circumference, producing the clean-edged appearance that consumers see when they pull an Oreo apart. The two wafers bond to the creme on contact, and the completed sandwich cookie exits the machine as a finished Oreo dark wafer, white creme dark wafer moving forward into the inspection system. Camera arrays positioned after the sandwich machine examine every completed cookie. The inspection system checks for missing creme deposits, for creme that is spread beyond the wafer edge, for broken or malformed wafer pieces, and for cookies where the two wafers failed to align correctly. Defective cookies are automatically diverted from the line. Cookies that pass continue forward into the weighing and packaging system. A multi-head combination weigher receives the accepted cookie stream and distributes cookies across multiple radial conveyor arms, each feeding into an individual weigh bucket. The weigher reads the contents of every bucket simultaneously and runs a combinatorial calculation to identify which combination of buckets adds up to the target package weight within the required tolerance. The selected bucket combination opens together and releases cookies downward into the packaging machine below. This combinatorial approach is significantly more accurate and faster than any sequential weighing method. It allows the machine to hit tight weight targets consistently at high throughput speeds. The packaging machine for Oreos is a horizontal flow wrap machine, chosen because Oreos are packaged in stacked column format rather than as loose pieces. The cookies arrive at the machine's in-feed organized into stacks of the correct count and orientation cookie face to cookie back in a tight column. Printed flexible film feeds horizontally from a large roll into the machine, where it wraps around each incoming cookie stack as the stack travels forward. The film is sealed along the bottom seam by a continuous heat seal bar running beneath the product path. At timed intervals, transverse sealing jaws close across the film ahead and behind each stack, creating the end seals that close each individual package. A blade integrated into the sealing jaw cuts each completed pack free from the continuous film web. The finished pack, a sealed, pillow format package with the Oreo branding printed across its surface, drops from the machine's exit onto the conveyor feeding the check weigher. The check weigher weighs every individual package and flags any that fall outside the declared weight tolerance. Underweight and overweight packs are diverted automatically. Each accepted pack then passes through a metal detection coil that scans for metallic contamination at sensitivity levels that detect fragments far smaller than anything visible to the human eye. Both rejection systems log their data continuously as part of the facility's food safety records. Every divert is time-stamped and traceable to the production parameters of that moment. Approved packages move into the case packing area where automated machinery groups them into the count required for a retail or club store shipping case. Flat cardboard blanks are folded into case form, filled with the incoming package groups, top flaps closed, and sealed with applied adhesive. Each sealed case passes through a printer that applies production date, best before date, facility identification, and batch traceability codes directly onto the case surface, a permanent link between the physical case and the quality data from its moment of production. This traceability coding is what enables Mondelez to isolate any specific production window quickly in the event of a quality issue identified after distribution. Coded cases travel to the palletizing station, where robotic palletizers pick cases from the conveyor and place them onto wooden pallets in programmed stacking patterns optimized for load stability and efficient use of truck and warehouse space. Completed pallets are conveyed through a stretch wrapping machine that applies multiple layers of plastic film around the entire pallet load under tension, binding the cases together and protecting the pallet during transport and handling. Wrapped pallets receive pallet-level identification labels and are moved by forklift or automated guided vehicle into the finished goods warehouse. From the warehouse, pallets enter Mondelez International's distribution network, a global logistics system that carries Oreo cookies to retail locations across the United States and through manufacturing facilities on multiple continents to markets in over 100 countries. The formula, the die roll pattern, the bake profile, the creme specification, all of it maintained consistently across globally distributed facilities so that an Oreo purchased anywhere in the world delivers the same product experience as one made in Chicago. That global consistency, replicated across 40 billion cookies per year, is itself one of the more remarkable achievements of modern food manufacturing. What began as bulk flour, cocoa, sugar, and shortening in silos has become a sealed retail package ready for a shelf, a lunchbox, or a kitchen counter. Every stage in correct sequence, every transition driven by the next requirement in the process, nothing revisited. If this is the kind of content that holds your attention, a like takes 1 second and genuinely helps. Subscribe for more factory and production documentaries, and drop a comment with the product or brand you want to see traced from raw material to finished package next. There is always another process worth watching.